Hello everybody and a warm welcome to the Castellet circuit in the south of France, about 45 minutes drive out of Marseille. We're at Circuit Paul Ricard, at a damp Circuit Paul Ricard for the beginning of the second race of the season, the 4 hours of Le Castellet. Now we've had the rain, that may well persist for the next 25 minutes or so, but then the first couple of hours, although a shower is likely, looking a lot better on the forecast, the final 2 hours should be completely dry. But that means the unpredictable nature of this next 4 hours of racing is very high indeed. Yep. Slick tyres for the pole sitter in LMP3, so there is this difference of opinion.
This is going to play well or badly. And our pole position car, thanks to Nick Yellowly's efforts, but he shares the car with Tom Dillman and Kubert Spitkowski, which I can always say until I put a microphone on, in the 43 Inter Europol competition car.
It's on wets, Graham.
Yep, and Inter Europol's first ever LMP2 pole position in the European Le Mans Series.
Which was astounding for me, because you think of great success for Inter Europol competition, but they're still fairly new to the LMP2 division, in fact, and to have two cars last year was a big step forward. They have the 43 car, which is looking very strong again this year, namely because of the two absolute pros of Tom Dillman and Nick Yellowly, but that is not to negate the driving ability of Kubert Spitkowski.
So we've seen the pole position car is on wets, been told as well, as we see just exactly where we've been and where we're going to be going. Imola next after Le Mans, and then Spa, back to Silverstone for the first time in 6 years, and then Portimao for the traditional season closer. Believe the only GT car to start the race on wets is the 55 Spirited Race car. So watch for the relative pace, a fair number we don't know about, relative pace of those two cars, and it should give you an idea of where the good and bad choices are coming. I'm not convinced that wets are the right move.
So it's Kubert Spitkowski to start from the pole position, drivers left of the front row. Ollie Gray alongside for the 48 VDS Panis Racing squad. Then Jonas Reed for Iron Links Proton, and Jamie Chadwick in the class-winning Barcelona car 4 weeks ago. So that's the EDEX Sport machine that is leading the LMP2 championship. PJ Hyatt, AO by TF. There's already a slow Ferrari, which is the JMW car, but PJ Hyatt took a spectacular pole position yesterday in Pro-Am alongside Giorgio Roda's Proton competition car. Then Rodrigo Sales for TDS and Georgios Kolobos, a really good qualifying for the Greek as well. CLX Motorsport with another pole position in LMP3. Paul Lancher to start, but it was Adrian Clomanil who did the time. Jacek Zilonka for Team Virage will be over his right shoulder.
Yeah, trouble as well for the TDS racing car. Rodrigo Sales coming out of the final corner on the first formation lap. It is tricky out there. Another car that's had a bit of a rotation on that first formation lap was the number 11 Euro International LMP3.
So it's every man and woman for himself right now in these trying testing conditions. We're about to go racing for the second time in the season for the European Le Mans Series, but there are a huge amount of unknowns here because of the rain, which has started to pour again. And remember that the lead car, number 43, driven by Kubert Spitkowski, is just about one of the only LMP2s on treaded wet weather tyres. Everybody else is going to be tippy-toeing their way through. There's already a spin for the 22 United Autosports car, joined by another that spun too. And now the difficulty is trying to get back into the race as safely as you can with all the LMP3s and the GTs pouring their way through. Meanwhile, Duncan Cameron takes the lead in GT, and that's not a big surprise because he's on wet weather tyres as well.
If this rain stays for much longer, I don't think they're going to be able to avoid coming in for wet weather tyres. Seeing LMP3 cars going by P2 cars on the straight here.
There's been so much to talk about. I don't think we've mentioned during this particular broadcast that we've got the chicanes back for the first time in 8 years. They were last run in 2017, so now an extra overtaking opportunity and a significant reduce in pace halfway or 2/3 of the way down the Mistral straight.
Well, Spitkowski and Matt Kaiser are driving away at the moment, and my guess is Matt Kaiser might well be on wets as well. So Matthias Kaiser in the 25 car, and Cooper driving away from the rest of the field. What do I mean by that? Spitkowski at the moment 2 seconds ahead of Kaiser. Kaiser 6.5 seconds clear of Ollie Gray in the VDS Panis racing car.
Big incident now towards the end of the lap. This is in the final sector, and is that the Corsa car? So that was the overall winner in
There's
Barcelona.
another car off. It's the 8 car. It's a Team Virage car with heavy damage.
Started second in category with Jacek Zielonka at the wheel. The incident had already happened by this point, but there are bits of the 8 nose all over the road. It was a spin for the 83 initially.
Oh, that was a huge hit. Huge hit for the 8 car.
So 83 Francois Perrodo in all manner of problems, and then Jacek Zielonka, who may well have been on.
There's been trouble for PJ Hyatt as well.
So Hyatt's delayed too from the pole in LMP2 Pro-Am. We've gone safety car because of the amount of debris that is in that third sector.
Francois Perrodo into the pits. That was a big hit to the front of that car and significant damage, and carrying a fair amount of a Ligier on the front as well.
It certainly was. Zielonka up at almost a 45-degree angle because of the rate of contact, and that car amazingly has made it back to the pit lane. I don't think it's going to go any further.
That's done. That is as done as a car can be. Very, very unfortunate. Very much the innocent party there. You still see the bollard jammed underneath the front end of that destroyed Ligier. That car is done. Safety car now on track. Where are we? Well, we've got the number 43 into Europol competition car, ruining the fact that this is the safety car out because they played a blinder, putting that car onto wet weather tyres. I think the same is true of the 25 car. The pace of Matthias Kaiser would seem to suggest that. Safety car is taking the cars on one of the cut-throughs to avoid where the debris site is so they can work on clearing the track. Safety car is coming in on this lap.
So nobody's actually going to get a chance
not under yellow
tyres.
No. So this is going to play back to the teams that are on the wet weather tyres. And again, I think we're going to see these lead 2 cars pull away because it's not got any drier since we went to safety car. And immediately look at this, they power away. By the time they've actually got to the line, I think there's about a second's gap. It is indeed 1.85 seconds with the first and third place cars as they get to the line, just from getting the power down for the final turn.
Let's just check how many laps we had under the safety car. It was 2, so we needed another one and the completion of that before anybody could have changed tyres if they'd wished to. Now the battle for the lead, heading for senior corner. That would have been brave from Matthias Kaiser, who has got Kuba Śmiechowski right in front of him. And if anything, the APR car looking stronger in this phase. Bright sunshine, it looks like, at Beausset. The paint schemes on both those cars look glimmering, as now here comes Kaiser. He's side by side with Śmiechowski to the outside line of Bandor corner. Garlaban is next, and that's a right-hander. So if Kaiser can stay there, there's contact though, and he kept it amazingly just about in the right direction, and with it gets the race lead.
It's pouring down now. It's absolutely pouring down, and all of a sudden there's no choice. It's tippy-toe stuff, isn't it, at the moment? The cars at the front of this race will be hoping this race stays green, because at the moment for Algarve Pro Racing's 25 car and the 43 of Inter Europol is going very well indeed.
So that's Takeshi Kimura getting ahead in the Kessel Racing Car Guy Ferrari for 4th position in LM GT3, ahead of Martin Berry in his Mercedes.
And here comes the Corvette as well.
True.
So it's Koizumi in the now silver Corvette. The very bright yellow Ferrari, 3 very different cars, almost 3 wide, and Koizumi gets them done.
So he's picked 2 LMGT3 cars off for position there to put the 82 up to 4th. Kimura in 5th in the 57 highlighter yellow Ferrari, and the Mercedes is going to be faster through senior corner. So has the 57 now got a bit of an issue? Seem to have no speed at all through that very daunting right-hander. Kuba Śmiechowski now circulating ahead of PJ Hyatt, who goes a lap down compared to the LMP2 leader. Excellent driving there from the other Inter Europol competition car to go around the outside of Mike Wainwright, then to the inside of the McLaren.
Michael Birch, yeah.
So who's in the 34 for the opening stint? LMP2.
Pedro Perino.
Superb. Dodging from one side of the track to the other. Jamie Chadwick's number 18 Edex Sport LMP2 car, winners in Barcelona. She's currently in 6th place. Pipo Derani about 5 seconds further up the road.
So Celia Martin is on slicks.
Okay, well that again is a terrific effort. Another team cranking into life. This is the Iron Dames thinking now is the time to get Celia Martin off the slick tyres. Well, she's nearing the end of a fuel energy stint anyway. Toledo with a spin at senior, and that was in the middle of this pack that was for 4th, 5th and 6th places. He was pursuing Charlie Samani there in the Zebra liveried 51 Ferrari, and all on his own. He's had a rotation. Now the Corvette's trying to get in, and he almost took Christian Reed with him. So that was the Corvette trying to make a stop, and the 60 car didn't want to do it. However, because the two were overlapping, Christian Reed was kind of taken to the standing water as Custodio Toledo now gets going again in car number 50.
And we're welcome for a while to the commentary booth. We've just seen some carnage there involving Corvettes. Someone who's no stranger to carnage in Corvettes, Ollie Gavin.
What a welcome. Thank you so much, Graham, for that lovely tee up. And yes, lovely weather here.
Isn't it?
Paul Ricard, it's the British have brought the weather with them. So
Martin Berry there, I think, with a bit of a minor moment as well. Trouble, we can see on pit lane for the 88 into Europol competition. Ligier with, there you go, significant front-end damage. Don't think we saw that instant, did we, Johnny?
I wonder whether it was involved in the spinning Christian Reed car, and I was very concerned, obviously, about the GTs, but I was the 88 in the near vicinity as well. We haven't yet seen a replay of all of that kicking off. Here we go, right on cue.
He comprehensively collected Christian Reed.
So it's going to be a very differently coloured nose to go on the 88 car now, much more into Europol competition. Together with the BWT, yeah, I know. We're trying to gather our thoughts and know precisely where anybody is in their stints right now.
yeah, it's tricky conditions, and there's a lot of nervous engineers and drivers out there right now.
I'm sure that's right. Still a lot of the bronze drivers. Trouble for the 37, and that's in the wall. So the 37 car in the hands of Alex Malikin.
That's the exit of senior, so he's effectively lost it coming out of the rapid right-hander and then gone into the barrier.
Yeah.
Now, this is terrible news for Kuba Śmiechowski, who's been spending most of this stint building a 50-second gap on everybody else.
Yeah.
It's precisely what we said. If you're continuing with the wet weather tyres, then just get away from everybody else as much as possible and pray to the racing gods that there isn't a safety car. Well, we've got one.
But what didn't happen is he didn't make a lap on most of the competition, and that's the key thing here.
Yeah.
Pole sitter Nick Yellerly is rushing to get ready, so pretty clearly we're going to see the lead car on pit lane as soon as they're able. Remember, 3 laps completed before the pit lane will open. We're not going to see that 43 car out leading for much longer because it must need fuel at the moment. Most of the cars behind it have stopped for tyres and will have taken some fuel during that stop, but the Europol car most certainly didn't. Green flag is shown, field under the control of the lead car here.
I still don't think anyone can legally pit. So there's a big squirm there for
Tony
the
Wells.
Nielsen racing car. So that's one to keep our eye on as the class leader in LMP2 Pro-Am. Clearly, into Europol competition are reasonably confident that Kuba Śmiechowski still doesn't need any fuel, but I wouldn't be surprised to see him in the pits the next time around.
Śmiechowski has been passed by the VDS Panis car, and I think it's also going to see the 22 car through as well, but not quite there. Almost got the nose off the United Autosports car.
Will Kuba pit now? And has he done enough time at 1 hour and 6 minutes? Well, he's not been in the pit, so clearly he's done enough time. You've only got to do an hour.
Well, we've seen Nick Yellerly ready, so I think they will pit that car very soon. Is it going to be now?
It's not on the main straight, so
It's on pit lane. It's on pit lane, so 43 after what I have to say has been a blinding stint.
Maybe this is a slight change. They're looking gambling on it drying up, and this is maybe a slight difference in the nose between starting the wet and maybe it's going to go dry.
Ooh, don't get your hand away from there, Sunshine.
Yeah, I think there was miscommunication there. Lots of shouting going on.
This is the battle for 4th place at the moment, behind the Iron Lynx and TF Sport cars that are chasing Duncan Cameron. It's Racing Spirit Le Mans 59 Aston Martin, the 51 AF Corsa car, the 74 Kessel Racing car, Richard Mills AF Corsa's number 50, all involved in that group. 3rd place overall. Just now, down to 4th, and having not stopped yet in the race, the M Racing Ligier, the number 68 car in LMP3, 3rd overall after an hour and 23 minutes. They must be running on fumes pretty much at this stage. Yes, we've had those 2 safety cars, but a great run to the front. They've stayed at the front, pulled away from the other car we know started on wet weather tyres, which was Torsten Kratz's WTM by Rinaldi. That car hasn't stopped either, but is 12 positions further back in the order. What a great run for them racing.
As we were saying, it was drying up. It's now raining really heavily again, coming up the back straight here into the chicane.
No immediate signs of any prospect of slick tyres here. Remarkably, the 2 Enduro cars have found each other in a battle for 12th position.
Yes,
43 and 34.
So Nick Yellerly in the 43, the yellow nose, and then the green. So the inverted colours, green in the front, yellow in the back for Jean-Baptiste Simonauer.
I was about to say we should make clear the yellow nose comment was about the car and not Nick.
It is. Oh, I don't know, it's a chilly day.
Absolutely.
It's to be a blue nose more so.
Matt Kaiser leads this race, by the way, is off strategy with everybody else, but leads the race by 52 seconds. At the moment, an inspired choice again on strategy from Algarve Pro Racing. We'll see how it all pans out.
There's a 74 Kessel Racing Ferrari stopped just before turn 13, and it's been in the barrier as well.
Oh.
So has that tagged on the rear right, perhaps? Not going to go anywhere in a hurry.
He's trying to get the car moving again.
Andrew's so close to getting to finish his drive time there, and I was about to say that
one more
hour
lap.
and a half in, and as Andrew just got
it was the 48.
Yeah.
It was the 48 car. Did he hit the barrier?
He did.
And he hit it quite hard as well.
He did. That's going to need some attention, and he's
an hour and 28 minutes into this race, and the LMP3 leader makes its first pit stop.
wow. This goes to show, doesn't it? These conditions, how far you can stretch the energy window, and get yourself really deep into the race.
Into the pit lane from the lead, Matthias Kaiser, Algarve Pro Racing's number 25 car, also in. Duncan Cameron, what a great stint from him to start this race, and that will be his time. Is it done?
He didn't get out. I don't think he got out of the car, did he?
We're not at an hour and a half yet.
You can't do it yet. No. We're not. We're at an hour and 29.
Oh my word!
Oh, that's disastrous.
Some of these cars. Well, these cars will have been in, but yeah, if it's run out of fuel now, he's got to stay in.
He has.
He couldn't quite make his fuel number.
And that was one of the. When I was down with Kessel at the start of the race, that was one of the key things that they were working through. And these guys just like 1 lap short.
Yeah.
Side by side between the Iron Dames Porsche and the Racing Spirit Le Mans Aston Martin. It's a position change there, up and into. In fact, that was a challenge from the Racing Spirit Le Mans car. Senior Martin still aboard that car. You've raced it before, Ollie?
Yes, long time ago. It was in black and white.
It was in black and white.
It wasn't in chariots. It was in a car.
Okay,
Right.
Yeah.
Which car?
GT car.
It was a GT car. It was a Corvette. It was in the sort of World Championship GT1.
Oh wow.
Yeah.
Okay.
The Mad Croc.
I think we're about to get into the last iterations of bronze time, or bronze lappery in LMGT3. Sarah Bovey is ready to go for the Iron Dames, and Celia Martin is on pit lane as I speak, which leaves the last of the bronze drivers out there. Once Celia gets out the car, is a guy that wasn't supposed to be driving this weekend, Christian Reed. He won't give it up.
Yeah, just can't shoehorn him out of the car, can you? He's just welded in there as the Iron Dames come on pit lane.
There you go. Celia Martin out. Good stint from her. Heroic stuff, staying on slicks for a very long time. But hour and 46 minutes to go. Nielsen Racing's 24 and Freddie Habsburg's hands on pit lane. So the Iron Lynx number 9 car at the moment on a different strategy retakes the lead of this race. It has led before. Daniel Castellet has stayed out. He will just cycle through into second place. Pretty much anything could happen here. The Vector Sport car, the number 10 car, in the hands of Vlad Lomko, spinning out, 9th place, rejoining the track. So what happened here is this looking for grip, and there was none. Bit of a puff of brakes, running wide, and then an attempt to rejoin, finding, I think, a little bit of standing water, and lucky not to collect the other cars. coming through turn 2. Yeah, so this track is beginning to dry. We're not quite at that tipping point yet, but it looks very much, if these the clouds are continuing to clear here with an hour and 42 minutes to go, we might get there. We might get there. Could we get to the stage where slicks could be required? Side by side between the number 77 car and the 43, Nick Yellerly and Rennie Binder. Yellerly up the inside, takes a position and moves up into 3rd place. Fernie Habsburg has inherited the lead, and quite a big one. 36 seconds by dint of putting that car early onto the slick tyre. He took pain, I think, probably for 2-3 laps, and then has absolutely jetted forward. Also going super quick at the moment. It's another fastest lap of the race last time around, Esteban Masson. He's only down in 14th place, but the pace he's going at the moment, he's going to be catching cars and passing cars at will very soon.
That is a wheel running loose with a medium tyre compound on it, I can tell you.
He's got brilliant grip there.
Superb. But that suggests, again, that's a car that's recently been into the pits to get the medium compound. And there is a car somewhere out on the racetrack with only 3 wheels on the wagon.
Does that count as track limits?
It does now, although they are self-policing because it's rattled down the concrete barrier. So what car's that come from? It's the APR car? No, it's the 9.
It's the 9 car that's led this race. Matteo Caroli, having just, I think, come out onto track, is back in with 3 wheels on the wagon. And that car is going into the garage, so it's damage to either bodywork or the hub of that car as a result of the wheel departing. That is utter disaster for the Iron Lynx Proton squad, and I'm absolutely certain we're going to have to see some form of intervention unless that wheel can be recovered. Oh, trouble for the 28.
And that's in the wall heavily for Edex Sport.
That's Job van Utrecht.
So he's collected the baton. Now I'm struggling from that tight angle to know precisely where that is. It is turn 6 or 7. No, it's coming out of 6 and just before the kink at 7.
That's an odd place to go off.
It is rather. As you had contact, therefore, to put him there. So it's the short burst of throttle that you need between turn 5 and 6.
Safety car deployed. Safety car deployed.
It's a safety car that again will absolutely ruin the race for Nielsen Racing. There was another car involved. 34 LMP2 car. That's the green-nosed car from Inter-Europol competition.
Car 24, slow down. I need to put the safety car in front of you
as well. So they've gone side by side into and through that corner, and that's
car 24, please slow down. I need to put the safety car in front of you.
How much further can therefore the 34 car go, driven by Luca Giotto now?
Job feels he can get that car back, and he can by the look of things, albeit not as the maker intended. Well, remarkably, Johnny, we're 15 minutes away from the final hour here.
Yeah.
That seems to have kind of flown by in some regards. Job van Utrecht has managed to bring the 28 car back to pit lane. That will cramp their style, no doubt at all about it. Already at the tail of the LMP2, the 28 Orica. You can see it there just having been completed. They've checked both front corners, and away Job van Utrecht goes.
Better news for the number 9. It's obviously lost laps being sitting in the garage for as long as it did. They'll be trying to gather together some championship points if possible. So it's Habsburg in the 24 car. In behind, in second place, is Vlad Lomko, but he's 3 cars further back, isn't he? So those 2 in between, the second and the third place cars on the road, are not currently on the lead lap. Vlad Lomko is the 47 car immediately behind him. Enzo Fittipaldi is in 3rd, so he's also on the lead lap. This is the very slightly confusing nature of a restart. It'll all become very clear in a moment.
Fernie Habsburg's on pit lane.
Well, that might be the reason why he's so fast, because he's relatively light on fuel. Well. So the Nielsen car is in, and that will leave Vlad Lomko as the race leader now in car number 10.
Vector Sport lead the race.
The Habsburg pit stop is nothing to do with fuel. That is entirely down to getting their final driver in for the hour. Now who's that going to be? For Philippe Albuquerque.
Well,
Albuquerque's got to be in the car for 60 minutes. So 47 surely going to be down pit road next time around as well, and that will be to put Manuel Espirito Santo in the car. In fact, they come now.
One quick message, by the way. I'm hearing on output we are talking over Eduardo Freitas. We're not hearing those messages at all. So apologies, we wouldn't do that normally. So apologies if that's a spoiling part of your viewing and listening pleasure. But we're not having those messages through our ears or any warning that they're coming. Tom Dillman, the 43 car, fastest lap of the race, 1:52.459. Drive-through penalty, meanwhile, for the 77 car. That is the Pro-Am lead car in the hands of Bent Viscal, not following race director's instructions at turn 1-2 and lasting advantage. That was the battle we saw with the 29 car further in the race.
Yes, I think it was. Yeah.
Incident involving cars 28 and 34 at turn 6 under review. I'm quoting what we're seeing here, forcing off track.
If you're wondering about the situation in LMP3 for the 17 car and how many of the longer pit stops they've done, they have completed there too. This is the Matteo Cairoli number 9 car, which lost a wheel and tyre not too long ago. And yeah, this car has picked up even further damage.
34 car on pit road, which is the car with damage. And a very, very hot rear brake. That's on fire.
Yeah, that's more serious than we would like to see, although the team are just counting. Oh no, they are going to attend to it. So the rear clip and the engine cover is going to come off. And a fire extinguisher is just going to be offered to them as well, whether they liked it or not, in actual fact.
Yeah, they didn't like it.
Well, trying to assess any potential damage that may have been done.
Well,
was that a pit lane marshal rather than a member of the team?
No, that was a member of the team.
It was a member of the team. So it's an internal disagreement.
Yeah.
And now that rear left is not going to shift, even if they wanted to take that tyre off because of the amount of heat. There's welding gone on there. They have got it off now, I can tell you, out of picture.
Double yellows at the chicane.
It's because of a bollard which sits in the middle of the road. Always good to see the word bollard incorporated into our race control messages.
That might well be. World Bollard Association will be impressed with that work.
And speaking of which, being off track, way wide, coming out of the senior corner towards Beauce.
That was a very odd line.
Well, almost in the realms of having to pay to get back in there for the 51 Ferrari. So it's now Lilou Wadou who becomes the new race leader in LMGT3 for Richard Mille and Corsa.
In comes the 29 car from the lead in LMP2 Pro-Am, also in the 27 Nielsen Racing car, which briefly takes the class lead just in terms of the way the pit stops happen. Interpol Competitions 43 is on pit lane, as is Louis Delatraz. It's a battle on pit lane now. Mathis Joubert retains the lead by 4 seconds, and that is the lead. Behind that grey car is Felipe Albuquerque, and then the stream behind is the battle for LMP2 Pro-Am, with the Vector Sport car in the middle of it. Number 12 car, meanwhile, we're hearing the WTM by Rinaldi Racing Duquesne is a retirement with a broken drive shaft for Griffin Peoples.
Lilou Wadou will have to make a stop in the not too distant future, whereas Fabian Schiller, when did he take over that car from Lorcan Hannafin? After the hour mark, so he'll be fine to the finish. So Lilou Wadou's in a bit of a false position.
Yeah, and actually she's in the danger zone of potentially even being off the podium here.
Yeah.
Matthias Besch, terrifically difficult to pass.
Yeah.
He's a feisty fella, is Matthias. LMP3 traffic this time up the inside from Louis Delatraz. He takes the place. Neatly done, cleanly done. Here comes Lilou Wadou from the lead in LMGT3. As you said, slightly false reading with this pit stop required. With thanks to James Newbold, glad you're listening in, mate, at home. Explains that Matthias Besch was rather dive-bombed by James Allen into the final turn early in his final stint, and
was ultimate into the side of the Mercedes, but in a sandwich manoeuvre. I think he was trying to get away from the LMP2 car on the inside and didn't realise a GT car was on his outside.
This is going to be our new, we think, LMGT3 leader. No, Lila Wadu, I think, is going to emerge ahead of Fabian Schiller.
Still, with that pit stop needing to be done and now completed, waiting for Schiller to appear.
There he is.
And further back, yes.
Well. So here we go. Car 28, Edict Sport, they've had one heck of an afternoon, and it's going to end badly with a 3-minute stop-and-go penalty for a safety car infringement. That reads to me like taking a pass around they shouldn't have had.
Yeah, 3 minutes is, well, just over a lap time. It's about 2 laps, almost.
Just a bit of an update on LMGT3 as we watch this battle, because it's a cracker. That is that all of a sudden, Fab Schiller is closing the gap on Lilo Wadu, but also for third place, David Perel under immediate peril from Ricky Perra.
So closing the gap despite getting a bit roughed up into turn 5 by the 24 Nielsen car.
That explains why he's just had a slow sector time. Looking, Marino Sato will be disappointed he couldn't get his way through there, and now he's under attack from Louis Delatraz. Can he go up the inside? He's got a good line out. I think this might be it. I think Delatraz has got him.
Far better drive off the corner, and to be fair to Marino Sato, he's given him plenty of racing room. He wants to use the toe to maybe repay the favour into Bose, but the speed is just not there, and that's tyre life. Now 2 Ferraris absolutely together, and the GR Racing car is in front.
That's the change
of the 55. So this was the one we were building up to. However, is it quite finished yet? Because both cars well over to almost the concrete wall.
Well, this is aggressive stuff from both these drivers.
And this was all set up then, coming through Virage Dulac, and there you go. That's the Delatraz overtake that I was expecting in the B2s, when it actually came from Ricardo Perra.
There was a gap, and he filled it beautifully. 10 minutes to go. Mathis Jobert leads the race for Edict Sports.
And the natural condensing of the order, we've got GT, LMP3 and the overall race leader all together on track. In fact, they went 3 wide. Mathis Jobert under huge pressure from James Allen.
James Allen has closed that gap by 3 seconds in traffic. Allen is right there.
He is.
This could be
less than a second as they crossed the control line.
Still traffic for Mathis Jobert, but what was 3.8 seconds, now 0.8 of a second. And into the final 5 minutes of the race, 1.7 seconds at the moment. It does look like Mathis Jobert in clear air has got the quicker car.
Ricardo Perra is within a second of Fabian Schiller's Mercedes for second position in LMGT3. And are they both closing in on Lilou Wadu? They certainly did last time around. She was in the 208s.
Wingfoot Award winners, Clement Mouvillac in LMP2 Pro-Am. Duncan Cameron, it is in the Sprinter race car in the LMGT3 car. I think the one I missed as I was looking at the timing screen, it is Ferdy Habsburg for the 24 Nielsen racing car. Oh, bit of goal for the Corvettes right at the end of the race.
What a shame. 4 minutes to go, but the car clearly is not going to make the finish. And now United Autosports' Marino Sato is homing in on Tom Dillman.
No, it's the other way around. He's just been passed by Dillman.
Well, no, he's been following him for a little while. Okay.
He's coming back at him. Dillman was behind Sato, but Dillman is now under threat again from Sato.
Wadu under massive pressure now. Amazingly, she was able to complete her pit stop. Richard Mille AF Corsa turned that Ferrari around without her losing the lead. But ever since then, Fabian Schiller's Iron Lynx Mercedes and the Ricardo Perra GR Racing Ferrari have been getting closer and closer. David Perel's just in the distance there as well.
Any kind of instant between any 2 of these, he's there ready to pounce. 1, 2, 3, LMGT3, 2.5 minutes to go. Anybody's race.
2 seconds. The gap from Jobert to Allen. We've been spending too much time together. But Lilou Wadu now with clear air in front of her, but massive pressure from behind in the Richard Mille AF Corsa Ferrari, because Fabian Schiller's just a second back in the Mercedes, then the Ricardo Perra Ferrari, David Perel's Ferrari as well, but it's the top 3 that are closest. And here comes the Mercedes then into the left-hander at Bendor.
And he's absolutely on a push here. It looks to me like Ricky Perra's dropped back. a little from this battle, but it's absolutely all about the race win. Fab Schiller flashing the headlights at Lilu Wadu. Trying to keep this neat, tidy. Defensive now, though, as Fab Schiller is looking for somewhere to force a pass on the Ferrari, and this will be their last lap. Last lap scored for the overall race leader. This is the race lead, and the LMP2 leader behind does not look under immediate pressure, but it is going to be about this battle, and that might be enough with the LMP2 car getting involved.
But in this, the 70th race in the European Le Mans Series since it was rebranded in 2013 on a famous Star Wars day, may the 4th be with Edex Sport, who take another victory in the LMP2 category, and this time it is an overall win.
A first ever overall win by a female driver in the European Le Mans Series, and it looks like we're going to get, depending on as home comes CLX Motorsport, for another win. So 2 wins in the LMS, 2 wins in the Michelin Le Mans Cup in 2 races of this current iteration. Could Lilu Wadu make it 2 female class winners in the same race in the European Le Mans Series? Boy, oh boy, are things changing. Here they come. There's another car involved in this battle. Fab Schiller will not give this one up lightly.
So she's having to maybe react to when that LMP2 car pulls off the corner. In the end, I don't think it affected things too much. There's going to be one more chance at this of Fabian Schiller round the outside, just as we saw Ricardo Pera try it. But you know, he's not in the right position. So what's the draft light off the final corner? It's going to be a drag race between the mid-engine Ferrari, the front-engine Mercedes, but Lilu Wadu will make it another female runner on a podium, 1 on the overall for Edex Sport, 1 in a class victory for LM GT3. There's Jamie Chadwick with a big smile on her face. She clenches her fist, and it's Lilu Wadu as part of the 50 lineup, joined by Custodio Toledo, who drove spectacularly well in his opening couple of stints. Ricardo Agostini, I can't remember mentioning him too much. He's the gold and theoretically the quickest, but it was all about who started and finished that number 50 car. They come home with victory.
Well, 2 LMP2 wins, but now an overall win after the LMP2 Brown winner took the overall honours in Barcelona for the number 18 car from Edex Sport, the Genesis Magma Racing Trajectory Program car, the first ever woman to win a race overall in the ELMS top class after a class win last time out and 2nd place overall. CLX Motorsport, though, a second pretty much faultless weekend for the Swiss team in LMP3. Astonishing stuff. Double win now in ELMS.
Yeah.
Double in the Michelin Le Mans Cup with a 1-2 in Barcelona, and their 2 cars finishing in the opposite order here at Paul Ricard. And then this car, the 50 car for Richard Mille AF Corsa, Lilu Wadu.
The double-double, your well-known ice cream order as well, which we might have to do later on. But yeah, CLX unstoppable when it comes to LMP3 racing.
We should, by the way, call the other cars that finished in the class podiums, because it's such a mix-up there. It's Europol competition, get an LMP2 podium with the run back to 4th overall for the 43 car. Tom Dillman bringing that car home. And CLX Motorsport, yes, them again, the 47 car completing the LMP2 podium. TDS Racing complete the LMP2 Pro-Am podium behind Nielsen Racing's 24 and the AO by TF 99, Spike the Dragon car. So they complete that. All of that helps us with LMP2. CLX Motorsport from M Racing, who led convincingly for so long, and Euro International in LMP3. And such a great finish between Richard Mille of Corsa, the Ferrari number 50, Iron Lynx's AMG, and the 86 GR Racing Ferrari, the 1-2-3. And what was a spellbinding LMGT3 race as well. Add water, get drama.
We do often say that the timing screen cannot tell gender apart, and I entirely agree with that. However, we do need to mark these occasions.
We do.
And likewise in GT, Lilu Wadu becomes another female victor. We had an all-girl lineup win in Barcelona 4 weeks ago. So the boys have got to step up, really.
We've had 6 female class winners across 2 different classes in the first 2 races this year.
Congratulations to all of our podium finishers, our podium appearances, some really smart Goodyear Wingfoot trophies being handed out to them as well. No blimp this weekend. We kind of couldn't fly that because of the changeable weather conditions. Thanks so much to Ollie Gavin, to Steph Wentworth, to Graham Goodwin. From Jonny Palmer, we take a month off, but we'll see you in Imola